Looking at the legend I become, nigga. I can't help but feeling like I am the one, nigga. What they call you where you from, nigga? Call you where you from, what they call you where you from, nigga? Call you where you from, what they call you where you from, nigga? I can't help but feeling like I am the one, nigga. One-way bus catching, blue line train riding west side with the young extras. These old rules came with no questions. Wrong to live by, but it's no exceptions.
Yes, we're still out celebrating. Long live Nip.
When it's over, you left with nothing. This life ain't it, boy. Better check the subtext or the fine print. Felt entitled to this fly shit. Felt like every bad bitch should be on my dick. Felt like niggas lied to us on some fraud shit. Fuck it, that's just how the ball bounce on some ball shit. Right here with all my brothers on some squad shit. All money, one nation under God shit. Neighborhood Nipsey Hussle on some ball shit. AKA nigga born broke, gotta die rich.
It's funny when you go through his catalog, you can keep this going all day.
See on my ceiling crack, smoke killer. Like my bank account, 100 racks, smoke killer. I pull up in that black on black, smoke killer.
Coming into the show, Darrell asked me, what's my favorite Nip project? We're going to get to that hard-ass question later.
Wake up in this state of mind.
No right answer. Got better and better, man.
The amount of work that he left behind, the amount of gems that he left behind, it's insane.
More than enough to go around.
But I'ma keep this balance, cause it ain't no turning back. Ain't no looking down, my niggas ain't concerned with that. More concerned with cash, more concerned with running laps, running rap, getting rich to running back. My AC on my ceiling crack.
I normally don't let the music play this long, but given the circumstances, given the fact that this man owned all his publishing, all his masters, I'm going to let this one rock. Yeah, man.
What's good, man?
What's going on, sir?
Man, I'm solid, man.
Back in action. We took a week off, but episode 6 of the OD podcast is here. Welcome back, episode 6. Man, again, like I said, this show just started out with a Nipsey medley. We probably gonna end on one too. But
It's only right.
Man, I don't know, man. I think you was on the show too the day after he passed, and I don't even know, man. Like I said, it's a completely different situation in terms of the radio show and the podcast. Obviously, radio show, FCC Airways, we got obviously restrictions. This podcast is the exact opposite of that in terms of restrictions. So it's definitely going to run a lot more different than that particular radio show ran. But I'm doing a lot better with it. I'm gonna be honest, man. It took some time, but I feel better about it.
Nah, I echoed that, man. I feel like everybody felt the love on Thursday. And, you know what I'm saying, everybody grieves individually, but there's a happiness that comes eventually because you can be content with the finality of the situation.
Right. I think that's what it was, too. You mentioned Thursday already, and I think Thursday, I'm going to be honest, man. I called my dad, and I was like, you wouldn't think, because especially when it happened, too, I couldn't listen to the music right away. And I was just like, I can't do it.
Not running from the music, low key, like, man.
For real. Every time I heard it too, I was like, yo, I'm gonna need you to give me a second. This is we're not even 12 hours in. But I think later that night after I had figured it out, I was like, I'm gonna do one song. I was like, I'm gonna do one song that I feel like it's necessary for right now, and I wouldn't play double up. And man. That song in itself, and like I said, and one thing that I'm gonna do on this podcast, one thing that I'm gonna do on this radio show, or on my radio show in general, is I'm gonna let you guys into that insight of just things in my life. And as I said before, I have no problem now because I'm in a lot better of a circumstance. But in February,
Mental state.
oh for sure. And in February, when this was last February actually, I was going through an eviction.
Yeah,
And yeah, man, that was right when I actually had tore my Achilles, and it was one of those situations where when I was cleaning up, it was one of those where it kind of finally like set in, like damn, like I'm gonna have to pack my stuff and leave. So when I was actually packing up the house I was cleaning it to kind of get out, and I think that's when it kind of hit me. And sure enough, Double Up was playing, and I was just like, I was like, he talking to me.
It's tough shit, man.
Man, I mean, it's so crazy that everything that he said, in one way or another, like it adapted to so many different people's lives. It's kind of crazy to look back on it.
Yeah, I mean that's around the time when I first met you, and had no idea for when these circumstances were going down, but I can respect the hustle and the grind that I see from afar, from how you handled that situation in that time frame, and that's just a testament to what that man's music did, what that man's music and spirit meant to people.
Definitely. I think you kind of just touched on it right now. And I think one of the things that I need to do like right away is I want to actually start out with a round of applause, but is my thing even playing right now? Oh, I cut it down. See, look at me. Hey, let's do that one more time. But that round of applause is actually for the city, man. That round of applause is for the city. That round of applause is for back home. I'm so damn proud of the city, man. I was so worried, bro. I thought shit was about to get ugly. Like I just didn't know. Like I said, when you take somebody that a lot of people consider a hometown hero, you don't know what that reaction gonna be like. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm hella proud of the city. Going back, man, next week. So I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Man, I'm trying to get back as soon as possible as well. I was hesitant at first because, like you said, didn't know how to feel about it. But it was a sight to see. It was a pleasant sight to see everybody come out on their best, worst behavior.
Man, I love the fact, and everybody that was out there in terms of my friends, they were saying that, like, LAPD, like, they were surprised that they let them be, like you said, it was somewhat controlled chaos. Yeah. They were going to do stuff that on any given day, any regular Thursday. It was
going wild out.
Yeah.
It's the homie, man. It's the homie.
They gonna do something.
It's the homie. Like,
and you know what? I'm happy you said that too, because the homie actually, I was talking to him today, and when I was texting him, and one of the things that he said, he was like, yeah, like a lot of people that's not from LA don't get this. Like,
bro,
we've seen him too much. We've been in the same restaurants too much. I mean, barbershops, like churches, like things like that, schools, like high school, middle school, things of that nature. It's one of those things where you look back at it and you kind of sit there and you're like, and as he said, it almost felt like it was a homie that went.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I
feel like
it hit different.
That's an LA culture of how we connect with our like really familiar artists like Snoop. It's Uncle Snoop, man.
For sure.
They ain't rappers. Like K-Dot, rapper, but kind of, YG, just like it's the homies, man. Like, it's not even like that.
Is there a way that we can kind of let, I guess you can say, quote unquote, outsiders in on that? Is that possible to even let them in on that?
Man, the only thing I can compare it to is like, if, you know what I'm saying, you meet somebody, say like in college, for example, and you wasn't familiar with them, but you met them and you're already a part of their friend group. You just identify with this person without having a long-standing relationship. You can just like, oh yeah, no, that's so and so.
From circumstances.
That's the bro.
Man. I mean, like I said, so many times I found myself kind of lost for words.
Yeah.
Kind of just about the situation, just overall. The memorial itself, as I told my dad before, I didn't think I was actually gonna be, because I told him when it happened, I didn't listen to too much of anything like in the moment. Like I said, but that night I went ahead and listened to Double Up, and I was like, wow, like he's gone. And it was one of those things where I was like, wow. And I think it was one of those where my eyes kind of welled up, but like I couldn't let it out. And I don't again, like I said, I was just like, if it comes, it comes. I mean, you just kind of got to let it run its course, I guess. If in I guess when you're mourning something. But sure enough, I told my dad, I was like, but I feel like it's a big enough hit to where it's gonna come eventually. Like I feel like I was like, I just don't know what's gonna happen. So sure enough, the memorial, I woke up and I had knew about it the day before, of course, and I was like, I'm gonna wake up for it. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it was heavy, man.
Yeah, I was gonna do it as soon as I started it, man. So I think as soon as I cut it on, they were playing. What were they playing? They were playing Right Hand of God, and bro, I was like,
I couldn't even tap. I didn't tap in, man.
ooh, I was like, you know what? And I was kind of sitting there, and I was sitting in my living room, bro, on my couch. And you've sat on my couch in my living room before, bro. I sat there for 3 hours and cried and did not move. And I was like, there it went. I was like, there it go.
I shared some that day, man.
Man, but like I said, like you said too, at the end of it, when it was over, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell you when I stopped crying, and it might have been like the weirdest time to stop crying. But once his mom spoke,
That lady's an angel, man.
there's no other way to describe her. That lady's an angel. There's no to deal with what she's dealt with, and I mean to have it played out in front of her on the internet and just the reactions and the conspiracy theories, for her to be as together as she is, there's no other word to describe her.
Yeah.
I mean, period. And I mean, I had called my brother just because when I had first woke up, and I'm gonna be honest, man, listening to Black Sam talk again was one of those where I was like, it didn't matter how good I felt. As soon as Black Sam,
you got a brother.
I got a brother. So yeah. That's too much, man. That was too much. Listening to Black Sam talk was just like I mean, like you said, man. God forbid, I got a brother, so I don't try to think like that, of course.
It's like that, man. And we from that area, man. And it's just relatable because it's a scene that you see, it's a scene that you're familiar with, you're used to, but it's different when the characters are, you know what I'm saying, familiar. So
Yeah.
it's all right. It's healthy because we all felt it.
Right.
And
I think that's a good consensus of it already. Like you said, there's no other way around it. Everybody felt it. Everybody
that's what I had
felt
going
it.
on Thursday, man. I wanted to be in the city, man. You already
Me
know.
too, man.
You
I
already know.
almost took a flight.
And it was open to California residents. Like
The
come
dog
on now.
stopped me. The dog stopped me. I refused to put my dogs under the cargo joint.
Yeah.
When you on a flight, I refuse to. You seen my dogs? They're kind of big. Not doing it, bro. I'm not taking no risk. I'm not finna land and you tell me no story.
they
Ain't
too.
gonna work. Ain't gonna
Yeah.
work. Cause I'm not gonna. It ain't gonna work. You ain't gonna be able to tell me shit. I promise you.
But not that day. A couple days prior, one of the big bros hit me up and was like, "Hey man, it's a career fair at this elementary school." And a bro had put it into our fraternity group message and was seeing if anybody was available. And a couple days passed, and one of my advisors hit me up. He's like, "Yo, I want you to slide. I want you to go." Nobody hit Big Bro back. So see if we can make it happen.
My bad. Give me 1 second.
No problem. No problem. I'll just go ahead and speak on it still. He asked if anybody was available to go to the elementary school, and I have a busy schedule that day, but it's nothing too busy, so I hit the bro up. We made it happen. We pulled up to the elementary school about 10 o'clock, and it was a career fair, and we got to be with these kids from elementary school, all grades, and represent UNLV, represent our aspiring career tracks, and just spend some time with them, talk to them, interact with them. Man, these kids are incredibly smart, man. These kids are learning a lot. The curriculum, I feel like, is brand new compared to when we were in elementary school. It's accelerated. It's crazy. It's good to see, though, man. It's good to see. And I felt good within myself that day because I was like, all right, one, community service is always rewarding, but I was like, all right, on this day in particular, if I can't be there, it's something I can put my mind on. It's something I can be like, all right, this is beyond myself. I'm feeling like personally gratified, and that's just the mentality that, you know, Nip was about.
Definitely.
It was like, you know, put your best foot forward, keep pushing.
I mean, and I think that's one of those things that like you and me talked about it on the radio show the morning after, and I think that's one of those things where when you look at as many things as he did, that's what you and me were speaking about. You and I were speaking about in terms of how we wanted the city to react. Like, we understand what the city tries to mold everybody into, and you know what I mean, successfully does in some cases. But go against the grain. And if you feel so outlandish about, or if you feel so outraged about the particular situation, turn it into a positive. And it's one of those things where that's what Nip was trying to preach. And given the circumstances, I was like, I wonder how many deaf ears this is gonna fall on. And it didn't look like it fell on too many deaf ears. It seemed like everybody heard it. So that was a blessing in itself. Let's talk about the procession a little bit. I really hope I'm not saying it wrong, but if it's called procession, it's a O. So I'm gonna keep saying procession. I just don't know if I sound crazy, but I'm gonna keep saying procession. But let's talk a little bit about it, man. Dog, I'm gonna tell you when I was watching it on the phone. I'm gonna tell you one spot that I looked at and I was like, sheesh. Dog, that spot on Vermont and Florence, that Tom's Jr. Yeah. When they passed it, I was like, whoo, that's home. I was like, I would have seen it right there.
Bro.
Either that one or the Slauson Donut stop. It would have been one of the two. I would have seen it.
It's nothing. You can't compare that, man. Like you said, that's home. Especially for you, bro. I'm from Carson, man. I'm from down the way. But those are your streets.
Man.
Those are your streets. And, I mean, I've been up and down L.A., so just watching it on TV, it's just like, man, it's on TV, but we used to watch it on TV back home with the news. We're not in L.A., man. We in Nevada, man. This was a national broadcast, man.
For sure. Everywhere.
Of our turf. And
that's different level. I'm going to tell you which vibes it gave me, and it was different. It gave me Biggie vibes. Yeah. And seeing multiple Biggie documentaries and just Biggie stories and things like that, seeing the way his mom wanted him to be paraded throughout the streets that he used to walk. But one of the things that I remember her saying specifically, and I think Nip's mom kind of displayed that. And one of the things that Big's mom said was that seeing the love from the city, seeing the outpour of love from the city made her take the loss a lot better, because she knew how much her son was loved. And I think it's the same thing with Nip's mom. But
yeah, she knew she wasn't on her own with that.
For sure. You got a whole city behind you.
And you only could imagine the stress that moms go through when they got boys that's out there.
Man. Hard-headed boys, too.
Know that they doing what they doing.
Man.
So, I mean, that lady's blessed. I'm sure she knew she was blessed. And that's beautiful to see. It is beautiful to see.
Definitely. I don't even know. Like I said, man. I mean, only thing I kept going back to was Biggie vibes. And every time I thought that, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, reading about that and reading about how that was almost like this unseen thing, and everybody was like, you had to be there, you had to see it, you had to be a part of it. To like I said, to see it go on, and some again, like I said, nobody wants the circumstances. If I could take it back and have Nip here, great. that's the route that I would take. But given the circumstances, not being able to be in the city for that moment, yeah, man, that kind of. I mean, I'm always have to live with that, but it was.
But yeah, man, without a shadow of a doubt, the legacy of Nipsey Hussle and the circumstances surrounding his passing, man, is definitely it's bar none. It's amongst the top legacies
for sure,
of hip-hop, man.
For sure.
It's definitely alongside the Biggies and Tupacs, man.
Goes right up there. Shout out to you too, Russ. 2020, we see you.
A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, feel the need to debate. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
We can get to that too. So I'm happy that you actually said that. So let's get into it. It's not worth it. Go ahead.
It's really not, man. It's if you know, you know. This one, it's generational, man. It's been 20-something years since those greats passed, and it's a brand new generation of music listeners and kids, and who are now young adults who feel this personally. There's people who can feel both personally, but regardless, man, they don't need to be compared. They don't need to be compared.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna read exactly what I put on Facebook earlier, and I'm just gonna let
people gonna be mad if we start speaking our mind.
For sure they are. You already know how I feel. I don't give a damn who gonna get upset about what. But I'm about to read exactly what I put earlier. I really hope that my phone don't start tripping like now out of all times. which is probably telling me not to say it.
What you have?
Just something that I was thinking about, bro, because I'm so tired of pretty much the same shit that you just said. And it's one of those things where this crab in a barrel mentality, this shit's starting to eat at me, bro. This shit's starting to eat at me. And one of the things that I'll eventually go back to it. And basically what I was saying was that I was so tired of the please don't compare Nipsey and Pac and just things of that nature. And I kind of just posed the question, and I was like, quick question, black people. Are we gonna? At what point are we gonna realize that we're the only race that pits each other against each other? Additional question: are we even gonna do that shit in death,
bro?
Point being, when Mac Miller died, how many white people did you hear say, "Oh well, shit, he's no Kurt Cobain"?
Nah.
You would never,
Nah.
bro. You would never. So why when Nip goes, somebody got to say, "Oh well, Pac wasn't a real game banger. Pac wasn't actually for." Bro, what the fuck does that matter?
Really though. First of all, my nigga, were you there?
I'm gonna be honest, bro, because my dad told me when he got in the car and he got that information, he pulled over and he was like, "Yeah, I can't even whip right now. I gotta chill." So yeah, nigga, I'm not finna say that this Nip loss ain't comparable to the Pac loss. I'm not gonna say that. Multiple reasons why I'm not gonna say that. I mean, people like to say, "Oh, well, he did more in this community." Pac has said on plenty of occasions that he may not change the world, but he will spark the revolution that will. Who's to say that we get a Nip without a Pac? That's number one.
Certainly.
Number two, Pac was taken from us at 25. Nip was 33. Yeah. Granted, it's only 8 more years, but when you weigh that 8 additional years on top of the blueprint that he already laid, on top of people like Jay-Z and Diddy behind you, on top of already being in the record deal at a young age and actually getting out of that,
he definitely maneuvered the way that Pac would have, man. The way that greats would have, given the same abilities, given the same generation, put that mentality.
Circumstances, like I said, resources, things of that nature. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things that Pac said and put on wax that he wanted to do that obviously he wasn't able to carry out. But I mean,
much younger man, 25 and 33,
for sure. And even then, like I said, if we take into account the blueprint that previous rappers, I'm not gonna say just Pac, but previous rappers, the blueprints that previous rappers have laid, on top of having Jay-Z giving you advice, on top of having Diddy in your corner, on top of just, even if they're not in your corner, if they're over your shoulder, regardless of the fact. I understand it says 33 years old on paper, but because of that insight, Nip was way wiser than 33 years.
Certainly.
So, yeah, I view it differently. I mean, granted, as I said before, I'm not going to get into which one matters more. I'm not doing that. Which one is more quote-unquote important. But what I will say is, having shook hands with Nip multiple times, having seen Nip multiple times, having had conversations with Nip multiple times, this one felt different. This one feels different. I mean, Nip is my background on my phone right now. And I mean, that says something. My phone cover, or my phone wallpaper was KOD for a year plus, or almost a year actually now. Yeah. And now it's Nip. So I didn't know when I was gonna change it from KOD. I mean, everything is kind of self-explanatory now. But I'll tell you one thing that I'm gonna do when I go back home.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm getting so many marathon-inspired tattoos. It's not even close.
Yeah, that's Mando.
Yeah, man. I don't even know, man. I'm at a loss for words. Like I said, we can get into some positive stuff. I mean, it's not that this is negative, of course, but we can obviously get away from the negative conversation of black people trying to pit each other against each other.
I mean, well, we can get to the music, man, because I know.
Yeah, man.
That topic hasn't really come surface to the top yet, but his catalog, man, is different, man. Because when you consider the fact that he was a freshman alongside J. Cole, Big Sean in like 2010,
and has one official studio album,
and just calculated his time, 8 years of putting heat out still, but was like, nah, this ain't the album. And one thing I heard about Victory Lap, man, that I really understand listening to it, he said making it, he wanted people to hear an individual, and he wasn't going to release it until he was ready that he could play it front to back and feel like he knew who made that music, and like it just told a story. And
it's crazy how like, and I seen you kind of shudder at the moment, but it's crazy how life plays out because there was a reason why that higher power told him not to release that project until it's a complete body of work and it says everything that you know what I mean that it can speak for you. I'll put it that way, and that is probably the one project where you don't necessarily have to ask Nip a question, or you didn't have to ask Nip a question. Yeah, and actually, now that I think about it, because when you said projects, we can get into different ones, but just trying to narrow down a favorite song. Somebody asked me like, "What's your favorite Nip song?" And I was like, "No," because when I was instantly was like, "Oh, that's easy." Okay, I had 2, I had 3.
Wait, what?
Then I thought of 4 projects, and I was like, "Well, I mean, shit." Get back to me on that one. But I'm gonna actually rock with you real quick, and I'm gonna let this one build in the background because I know this is yours.
Man, I was in high school rocking with this, man. Mad tough.
Break your heart, little mama, don't make a scene. You really mad at yourself 'cause you couldn't do it to me. Probably call me a failure if I ain't never achieved. I'd rather you call me cocky for living like I believe that I'm a king. No sympathizing with the fleet. No surprises from the snakes. It's flock season and I value my estate. So I bought some barbed wire in case they try to climb the gate. Used to rock it on my waist. Hip hop cops on my case.
It's like he didn't miss, bro. It's just like he just didn't miss.
Bro, yeah, these are album cuts, man.
Everybody wanna taste, they say. Get willing or them niggas gonna take. I say if you want fish, let me lead you to the lake.
Whew. Hey, I mean, okay, so what are we doing first? What's the harder question? What's your favorite project or what's your favorite song? Because, I mean, if we just talking about songs, I mean, you can go a couple of different ways.
I think the project, you could get a top 3.
Oh, so project, we can do top 3.
Songs, it's impossible to rank. It's impossible to rank the songs.
I was about to say, we need paper for that one.
Bro, yeah.
I was about to say, I got Who Detached Us playing in the background. And this was one of my first sit down songs where I was just like, he doing something that's different. I was like, let me sit down with this song because this
tell the direction of his tracks from an early stage in his like musical career that he was approaching it differently.
Whew. Man, you know what's crazy too, and like I said, we keep talking a lot about being from the city and things of that nature, but shout out to Sean Zattel because who I mean is an amazing boxing reporter, but I tell Sean all the time, like, your level of writing is just descriptive. Like, it's like the level of detail is kind of crazy that goes into it. And he had a tweet yesterday that was it yesterday? I guess now it's Saturday morning, so whatever. So I guess Thursday. The funeral was over. The coach was pulling out, and he had actually, like, he was taking a video, and he's from New York originally, born in New York, raised out here in Vegas. And one of the things that he said, he was like trying to figure out like what it was beforehand, but essentially the general premise was a lot of love out here in the city for Nipsey Hussle. But what he compared it to, he was like, it was a Godfather-like send-off for the slain rapper. And I told him, and I hit him up and ironically, I hit him up to like 24 hours later almost, and was like, bro, I don't think you realize like how much that shit means. I was like, because not being able to be there and understanding that you're not from there, but you know what I mean? I don't even know if you know anything about him. And it made me feel a lot better to know that he didn't know really too much of anything about Nip. And he was like, nah, like obviously he's done more of his research now, but he was like, nah, but that's what made him do it, because the entire city was like, this is our Don. Yeah. And he said he just couldn't wrap his head around it. He was like, how is he like this if I've never heard of him? And he said when he finally went into it, he was like, yeah, they sent them out like that. And I told him, I was like, bro, all that means for you not to be from there, that just confirms to me that they did it right.
Yeah, bro, the word is respect, man. And that was his word.
What are we talking about? Oh, favorite songs. Like I said, I just played Sound of My Ceremony. I had Who Detached Us, the acapella version playing. I mean, man, like I said, I'm scrolling now, 4 a.m. Ain't Hard Enough. They Roll. Yeah, man. I couldn't even try to pick a favorite song if I had to.
Ain't hard enough. Definitely solid. Downers are great.
Whew, you know what, bro? I'm gonna have to throw the question back to you though. But you had asked me when you first walked in here, favorite Nipsey project. I have a favorite. I'm happy that you're giving me 3 to go off of though. But number 1 for me, Mailbox Money, bro. I don't think nothing beats Mailbox Money. I don't know, man. My number 2 is very, very close. My number 2 might be like a 1B or 1A. Yeah. But Nip Hussle the Great, man. Yeah. Volume 3. Is it volume 3 or is it volume 2? No, I lied. It's volume 2. Volume 2. I was looking at so many different Bullets Ain't Got No Names, and it was just it was like you said, I don't think you can necessarily go wrong, but
you really can't.
My 2, if I had to pick my top 2, Mailbox Money right next to Nip the Great, man. Nip the Great V2.
Man, Slauson Boy 2 came with
bro. Yeah, man. Who gonna say that that's wrong?
And I feel like that's something that he enjoyed a lot.
Whew. You know what? If I had to pick third, just because I say that's the one that put him on the map, I'll say Crenshaw.
Yeah.
I'll say Crenshaw after that. But Mailbox Money is my personal favorite. That's my personal favorite.
And I mentioned this, I think, on the show, but, bro, he really went out with a home run, dog. Racks in the middle, man.
Yeah, bro. I'll let you talk about that more.
The message behind it, it's poetic, man. And it's a lot of foresight on that song. It's a lot of hindsight. But just the timing of it, it's so natural. Who made this beat? Was that Doggy?
I didn't even hear it, brother. I don't know.
Yeah. It's dope, man. He got Roddy on here, man.
Oh, man. Nip is about to provide the soundtrack to this whole episode. Hey, bro. Yo, somebody was on Twitter and somebody was like, random thought, Roddy really hit that bitch, huh? Somebody was like, Bro, that shit is so funny,
God.
Bro. Somebody was like, random thought, he really hit that bitch, didn't he? Bro, I don't know, man. Like you said, man. I mean, I can't even feel sad no more. I can't even feel sad about it no more, man. Man. You know what? The good thing, though, about it, we did know that, obviously, with this, he has something coming.
Boy.
Yeah, he has some fire still on the way.
Khaled about to drop something with that he had on him.
A lot of people
got
gonna
a
do
couple in the chamber for sure.
Game had one with him.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure a lot of people going. I'm pretty sure, especially with Lauren. I don't want to put it on her, of course, but understanding that Lauren had a good hand in Victory Lap, he made sure that he brought her around. In the beginning for the Victory Lap, intro, that's Lauren saying Victory Lap.
Really?
Yes, bruh.
Crazy.
I didn't know shit like that. I think she did one of the hooks on the album too. So it's one of those things where, especially with, you already know that this was the last song that he released. I think it's one of those things where Lauren knows how to put together a Nip project the way that he would have wanted it. So I don't argue, and I'm against kind of releasing music after a person's gone because you don't know what that person. I don't even know how to say that word.
Yeah.
Say it again.
That posthumous release.
Yeah, bro. You asked. That's that shit.
Posthumously.
Bro, I didn't say
like
possum. I didn't say posthumous. I didn't say some wild shit, bro. That's why I just stopped saying it. So I just be like, releasing after somebody is no longer here. Like, I don't know, man. But I know a lot of people don't. I don't like necessarily.
A lot of times the people want one. I
mean, but see, the reason why people want one is because they can't let go of it. But Nip is one of those where, like I said again too, like I said, I really do feel like people need to be careful with the energy that they put out because I'll own
respect it.
For sure, because I'll own when I said it, because when I heard Victory Lap, I said it even in one of my classes. I was like, to the general, and I love the way he did it, because I was like, to the general public, this is their introduction to him. I was like, but for Nipsey fans, this is the culmination. Like, this is what he was hinting at in every project. He was saying, like, this was the big one that was coming.
That was his essence,
so
for
that's
sure.
what I was saying. Like, I
Boiled
even
down
said
to
in
one.
exactly, pretty much put into one cohesive project. So in my African American music and culture class, I had to do a hip hop and I essay. And basically it was like, talk about 3 rappers that just form your way of thinking. And I was like, easy. Nip, Jay-Z, and J. Cole. That was not hard for me. And when I went into obviously the Nip portion of it, that's what I kind of said. I was like, a lot of people are like, oh, well, what's next? This is his debut album, da-da-da. I was like, most Nip fans are like, if he truthfully wanted to kick his feet up and be like, I'm done, most Nip fans would be like, we appreciate you, brother. And I told Caprice as soon as it happened, I was like, I fucking hate that I said that shit. Because, I mean, like I said, because truthfully, I meant what I said in terms of, like, if he truthfully walked away from the music, it was like, I'm good. But being a fan, it's like, I understand you did leave this tremendous catalog, but it's like, selfishly, you're absolutely right. Want more. So it's like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, but he's given us so much that we got ample music to kind of fall back on.
Yeah, the interviews and all that.
Interviews,
and I respect the industry, man, because apparently a lot of folks put their stuff on hold.
As they should. I mean, it's a respect thing, I feel like. And I like the way, and it's funny because, like you said too, especially just being from that area, you can just tell the certain energies that people are putting out. And Schoolboy kind of said it best. I felt like, shouldn't nobody be putting shit out at this point, like until further notice, nigga. Like, not even until another date. Like, just wait. let's see it. Let's see how life goes, and again, let's see what we want to do. And again, bro, like I said, I didn't want to listen to shit, because, like I said, I didn't want to listen to music if it wasn't his. But when it first happened, I couldn't get through it, so I was like, I'm just gonna drive around in this fucking car listening to silence. And then that bothers me more, because I'm like, what the city like right now?
Yeah,
so I'm like,
short.
I'm like, this ain't working for me. So, again, like I said, I was talking to somebody recently. I had hit them up on Instagram, and I was just telling them, like, because I think the person was just kind of, like, dealing with just, I'm not going to say with the loss in itself, but you could tell that they were just kind of just thinking stuff out on social media. Yeah. And I kind of told the person, like, I don't know exactly what you're going through, but just from the conversations that we had and our form of thinking, or at least what I can, again, like I said, I could be fooled, but what I interpret the type of person for you to be, you care too much about making it out of your circumstances, but not only making it out, but showing the people back there like there is a way out. And you know what I mean? Like, and trying to be that positive beacon of light. And I kind of told him, like, the reason why I feel like you're trying to sort shit out is because they tried to kill hope. And I don't know no other way to say it. And I think anybody who cares, that's why the loss hit a little differently, because it was like, y'all tried to kill hope. Y'all tried to stop progress dead in this fucking tracks. Yeah. And I think that's why so many people kind of took it the way that they did. But as we pointed out earlier, obviously it took the opposite route, and everybody's responding with love, so that's a good thing. Yeah. But you talked about it too. Like I said, it's a lot of music. Who are you looking forward to dropping?
I'm definitely trying to hear from TDE.
Anybody from TDE, or just all of them in general?
I'm trying to hear from TDE, man.
I've been trying to get an Isaiah Rashad album for like 2 years, bro. And I just, at this point, man, I'm still playing Sylvia demo like the shit is new. Like, from start to finish, bro. Like, the shit is brand new.
Man, so I got it, man. I said this too. I was like, man, I got to hear from K-Dot, bro.
You think now we need it? Especially right now, we kind of need to hear from him?
Yeah, man. Drop that shit, man.
I'm going to be honest, bro. One person who I was waiting for the longest, and it was 2 rappers. The first one already dropped, so shout out to 2 Chainz. I was waiting for that album. Bro, again, I keep playing Rather You Than Me like it's fucking new. I need Ross to drop a new album, like, today. Like, bro, if Rose drops one tonight, I'm on it all night. Easy. Because I think Rather You Than Me, it can be... If somebody, I'll put it this way, 10 years, 15 years from now.
Definitely one of the most underrated Jones.
Might be in history. And I'm peeping at the camera, because if somebody told me 15 years from now that their favorite album is Rather You Than Me, favorite all-time album, I would not necessarily look at them and be like, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, you gotta respect that.
I look at him and be like, word? All right, for sure. You get one for that one. I don't know, man. Rose, that's when you talk about Nip progressing. That's the person that when you look at Rose, you're like, oh, progress. Because the Rose that I got in high school, I was like, bro, he rapping about cars that I can't fucking spell, dog. Like, I don't know what none of this is. I don't. So getting older, you know what I mean? Kind of growing with the music and growing with him. Yeah, man. Rose is one of those.
I think Jay might drop something. I think he might drop a little something. No cap, man.
That'd be a shock.
I think. Oh man, I'm eager to hear from Drake, man. Drake's my favorite rapper.
You already know I'm waiting to hear from Cole.
I don't have
Revenge of the Dreamers.
Yeah, I have nothing to say about that. Oh, Revenge of the Dreamers whole
supposed to be
jump
this month.
is getting touched up.
Yeah, man.
It's probably getting touched up.
But
that's gonna slap when that comes. That's gonna slap. That's what that'll reset.
That shit gonna be crazy.
That'll reset the paradigm for a minute. But
then but Schoolboy is coming soon. So if not TD. So if Dreamville does that, how long do you hit that reset button for? Because like you said, especially if it hits the way that we anticipated to hit, nobody's gonna want to drop right after that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's gonna want to be a part of that fucking hailstorm.
It's the summertime though. It's the summertime. We about here. It's when folks bring that shit like chances in the studio.
Bryson Tiller said he was gonna drop a summer album last year, bro, and the shit just never came.
Hey,
so,
but yeah,
am I lying?
Sooner than later,
I'm not
though,
lying.
he will. Sooner than later, though, he is.
Are we sure about that?
Hey, yeah.
We want it to happen. Are we sure about it?
I'm not mad because
he's not gonna answer this.
When it comes, it's gonna be right.
How do we know that?
We don't.
Okay, I have a question. I listen to the Joe Budden podcast a lot. So Maul talk about it and Maul defend it all the time. But Bryson's second album,
yeah.
How often do you go back to it?
I go back to it for maybe 2 or 3 songs.
I go back to it for 2 songs.
Yeah.
I don't listen to that project. Trap Soul?
No, which is why
start to finish.
Yes.
Start to finish, brother.
Yes.
And then
Trap
the fact
Soul
that
still
he
is an A. It's like I'm willing to
classic.
overlook the fact that
That's a
you
classic.
dropped some shit. It's like, nah, Bryson, that's Trap Soul.
Yep, exactly. You be like, what was Bryson's last album? Not. Oh, yeah, he did drop that.
Yeah,
One.
he
Anyway,
dropped
the
that,
one
but
before
nah,
that, Trap
Trap
Soul.
Soul.
Yeah, that one. But yeah, I mean, like I said, and again, I'm gonna actually go back and play it because I've been waiting for a Bryson Tiller album.
Artists are motivated right now.
It should be.
Particularly.
It should be. I'm not gonna lie. I think last year motivated a lot of people. Last year with just albums dropping every week, I think everybody was like, well, I mean,
Yeah, last year was competitive. Last year was hella competitive.
Crazy last year.
And then
Most disappointing album from last year.
You gotta get an answer.
Hell yeah, I got an answer.
Don't, man. A lot of people come for Scorpion, man. I'll ride for Scorpion.
That shit was hard.
Thank you.
That shit was hard.
But on the spot, that's tough, bro.
You want me to get you mine there?
Yeah.
I know this. I'm gonna sound like I'm a hater, but again, all this means is that I'm comparing you to yourself.
Okay, hold on.
Maybe you got one.
Is it Stay Dangerous?
No. I actually didn't mind Stay Dangerous.
I
Is it one of my favorite YG
it's
projects?
No, it's the one I'm gonna go back past for sure. I'm going back past that one. Give me Red Friday still, like
Red Friday over that?
I mean,
I don't know if I'm going that far.
he put some shit on it. It didn't have a punch on it. That's YG though, man. I fuck with bro. It don't matter.
I don't know, man.
But how you coming?
I know exactly what mine is, and I don't think my shit changing either. Quavo's Huncho, bro.
Stop it, bro. Stop.
You know what it sounded like he did? And I'm gonna keep it a band. The reason why is because it's not like Quavo don't make good music. This is the issue. When I cut the album on, it just played. I don't know where the first song ended. I don't know where the second song started. I don't know where the third song started. Like it's
Junks, actually. That's one of my personal.
When Quavo goes, bro,
vibe.
he goes. So, but he sounds one way. So it's like when it goes throughout the album, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was 44 minutes in and was like, how long is this fucking album? And then I looked and seen all the tracks and was like, oh, okay, I get what he did. But then especially when I heard Offset, especially when I heard Takeoffs, I was like, oh. Offset and Takeoff looked at all of their shit and was like, okay, this one fits, this one fits, this one fits. That's what I feel like. I feel like Quavo was like, I got a whole hard drive full of fire. Take 23 of these bitches. That's what I think he did, bro.
And
He
you know
put
he
23.
got. You know he got.
He
that.
got 23,000 songs of fire. I don't doubt that.
Yeah,
but
got
as far
he
as,
definitely got 100 hooks.
and especially with you leading it off.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
And he's the front. And he's the face of the group.
And there was no cohesiveness to his project. It was just music, bro. And I was
man,
like,
I
don't
dig
know
it
what
though.
is.
I dig it though. You know, the best attribute like in Quavo, arguably, is that he goes well next to people. He's complimentary.
Ooh.
And he just, you know what I'm saying, he's a very comfortable bridge. So his solos took some getting used to. I gave that a much bigger shot than I feel like a lot of people did for sure though. But I mean, like he came through, he delivered on songs with Drake, with Cudi, with Baby, with Offset, with like I don't know, man. I just come back to it pretty often, and this is what we all wanted it from Quavo. Is the thing.
I think that's
we
why.
wanted it.
I think that's why it was the most disappointing album.
But then
because I was so
yeah.
geeked for it, and then when I heard it, like I said, it was almost like I said, I was exactly what I. And again, my favorite Migo is Offset. I've said that plenty of times, and I ain't got no problem saying it. Everybody has always said like Takeoff's the best rapper, and I've always stood firm like Offset's better. I think so. But anyway, looking and seeing what Offset did with his project,
Offset's the backbone of the group.
You might be onto something. You might be onto something.
Who got it all the time?
I was about to say the aura, like just the energy and the stuff, the charisma. He was the first one that said we hotter than the Beatles.
Yeah.
He was the one that said that, and everybody was like, I mean, well, shit, he kind of got some merit to it. If he wants to point to numbers, he has merit. So, I don't know. Like I said, that was the one that I looked at. So, when I looked at his project, and especially with it being last and being the most far removed from everybody else's, I looked at the way that he put his project together, and even almost said Quavo, but even Takeoff with his project. There was an idea behind it. Like I felt like Takeoff's was on, like the Last Rocket. I think that in itself, again, I
dig the Rocket.
Did you hear? I don't know if he's ever gave an explanation behind why he named it that, but I interpreted the Last Rocket as Quavo took off, Offset took off. He's the last one to take off. So I think the album was supposed to be like, let me explain what I bring to the group. Let me explain the diversity that I have. And Offset obviously was, I'm a father man. I'm a family man. Got father of four. You know what I mean? He had some shit that he had to get off. So he had a whole nother thing to do.
Offset got the track sitting on.
For sure. I think all of them got tracks.
His shit slap.
Offset shit is the best.
Offset shit slap.
Offset shit is the best of the three.
I told Tati that, bro, and then she was like, "That's who I really be listening to it with." And what I like about Quavo, man, you know the Migos, they from the gutter, but they got this fascination with high art, especially Quavo.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I dig the album cover. Offset's album cover was tough too. It was hieroglyphics on that.
That shit is hard, bro.
It was hard, yeah, for real. They in tune with their culture for sure. But like Quavo, you know, he likes the high art. He likes the high end. He likes.
It's that expensive taste, brother. I don't know, man.
And it's tough. His album had that quality production on it, though. It was just tough.
I mean, like you said already, too, he has so much to get off his chest in that one. I think I don't know, man. Like I said, I believe all of them took it serious. I really do. But I think Quavo's was just a little bit differently in terms of mind state.
While we on this, while we kind of revisiting this, man.
What's up?
2018.
What's up?
What do you think about one album in particular? Testing.
Don't do that to me, bro. Don't do that to me, dog. My Instagram name is ASAP Relly. Don't do that to me, dog. Don't do that to me, dog.
It indeed is
okay.
ASAP still.
Can I all right.
I'm let you know now. Fucks with it.
Let me get some shit off my chest, because everybody know I fuck with Rocky to the point to where, like, no, I got my Instagram is ASAP Relly. I keep saying this shit. I quote Rocky in so many fucking captions. It's crazy. Man, the day that it came out, it dropped the same day that Cardi's album did. So, given the craziness around Cardi album,
it did drop on Invasion of Privacy.
Yep. So I listened to Invasion of Privacy first, and I was like, okay, this is a cool project. They made sure that she had a complete body of work. This is cool. Went to testing right after. I'm gonna keep it a band with you, bro. I don't know if it's just the fact that I listened to those two back to back.
Yeah.
But you know that distorted. I think the first song is distorted music or
Distorted Records.
Distorted Records. So when you hear Distorted Records, it's so the pitches. And it was one of those things where when I coming off Invasion of Privacy, I was like, and I'm gonna be honest, my favorite Rocky song of all time, Houston Old Head. It's my shit. Like nothing beats that song. That might be one of the there's certain songs that like that's Rocky is perfect kickback music. I tell people that all the time. Rocky, I'm not playing Rocky at a party. I'm playing Rocky at a kickback where we all
Rocky at the party when we're already
slid.
We all feeling good,
bro. We over here on the couch, like that's when I'm playing Rocky.
Good.
So I'm expecting that. I'm gonna keep it honest. So I'm expecting that. And then when testing started and I heard Distorted Records, I was like,
oh, this nigga really playing with the music.
I was like, he really over here experimenting. I was like, bro, and I'm not with it. Like I can't do it. So I didn't do it. Bro, so I'm like, let me put myself in a position to where I ain't got no choice. So I cut the shit on, bro, and I hop in the shower one day, right? So obviously I hop in the shower. So I'm like 4 or 5 of these Jones about to play. So I let them play. Bro, I got out the shower and cut the shit off. And I was like, I can't do it. Bro, I got in the car like 2 weeks ago. And I lied because Nip was only a week ago. So I got in the car maybe a month ago. And I was talking to Caprice about it. And I was like, I'm going to be honest. I feel some type of way about like the fact that I don't like testing. I gotta go see if it's really as bad as it is, cause like I tried to listen to it those 2 or 3 times and I can't do it, bro. I cut that shit on in the car one day on the way to go somewhere.
Yeah,
bro, that shit bang. I don't know what it is when it's in the car. It was different. I was like, whoo, this one is.
Not only that nigga put a cold visual to almost every one of them songs now.
Yeah, bro.
A cold, bro. Like a tough music
bro.
video to go alongside of it.
Rocky is going to be one of those that I think, again, I keep citing the Joe Budden podcast, but Rocky's going to be one of those that we look back on just in terms of artistry. Like, Rocky's going to have some shit. Like, Rocky going to have music videos. He going to have music. He going to have art. Like, Rocky going to have clothes. Like, Rocky going to have album covers. Like, Rocky going to have shit that we look back on and be like, wait, hold on. Did you see that?
Bro, Purity was, in my opinion, the best song that came out last year. It just
I can't do that.
It'd be striking.
Victory Lap dropped last year,
yeah.
Can't do that. Double up, bro. Double up. Bro.
That's completely,
can't do that.
It's completely subjective.
I can't do that. Yeah.
If I was creating if I wrote for Pitchfork, man, and I had to, you know what I'm saying, narrow down some cuts. That's in my top 10 because, man, it's just, man, it come through. It's so soothing. It's the outro. Frank just kill it with some bars. Rocky let some insight into his personal life on it. And it's, attract that shit everybody look for when you feeling to yourself. But I feel like he just delivered on it. I'm sure he didn't even care if niggas fucked with it though.
It's
the best. Like, bro, yeah, it's like.
That's the best. Cause it forces you to either fuck with it or not. And again, like I said, and I almost got off of this topic earlier, but I'm gonna say it real quick. Crenshaw, when Crenshaw came out, I am one of those people to where just recently, and I have no problem admitting it, in his passing, it forced me to kind of realize like why I didn't fuck with it. Not Crenshaw the tape itself, but the price point. Because when it came out, I was like, the fuck? Like, knowing what Nip came from, how he gonna charge $100 for this? And I'm like, that don't make no sense to me. And I was just against it. And obviously, I understood that he had released it digitally for you to still stream it, whatever the case may be. So that's what I had to do in the moment. So still, like, whenever I wasn't like obviously bashing him because of it, but whenever somebody brought it up to me and they asked me about it, I was like, nah, I didn't think that was like the best idea. But bro, like a couple of days ago, I was brushing my teeth, and the same thought kind of came to me and was like, why didn't you fuck with that? Like, why didn't you fuck with the movement? And I was like, you know what's funny? Because I heard him do his interview, and everybody was kind of asking him, of course, like, why did you do that? And he was like, I feel like if you believe in your product, you set the price point, and the people that fuck with you gonna pay it. And I was like, yeah, plain and simple. Like, you gotta fuck with that movement. Yeah. But I still couldn't like fully get with it. Like I said, like earlier this week, I'm brushing my teeth and I thought about the idea randomly and was like, why didn't you fuck with that? And I was sitting there. I just didn't have that $100. I ain't got no other way to put it, bro.
No cap. No
Period.
Cap.
Because if the shit dropped now, I'll probably go get one. I'll probably go get two. Like, you know what I mean? But at the time, I know I was so fucking angry. I didn't have it. I didn't have $100, and I wanted it. So it was one of those where I was like, "Fuck, I don't look like a real fan because I'm only streaming it." But it's like, bruh, truth be told, I ain't got that. Yeah. So that was kind of the reason why I was like, what's up with this?
Yeah, people asked why people was coming out LeVar. we ain't gonna get into the execution of the quality of the content when it comes to the idea behind setting the price point for your market, and you know what I'm saying, not settling for less. So I respect it. I'll go down saying Lonzo was one of the best point guards of the last decade in college. One of the best college point guards. Yeah. That should have came at the beginning.
That was And
he still got trust. He got it. That boy got potential that he ain't seen yet.
Can be crazy.
But
he can be crazy.
But analyzing as a collegiate point guard, come on, man. You broke UCLA's record as a freshman. It's a 6 record.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, too, in college, the game looked like it moved slower for him. And this is a perfect transition because now we're going to transition into basketball, get into the NBA playoff talk. Again, this is episode 6 of the OD podcast. I'm in with my man, Darrell. But Alex isn't here. You guys haven't seen Medina for a couple of weeks. Medina is caught up in all types of work, dealing with this busy season, especially with the semester about to end. But Alex is doing great work with the newly named Las Vegas Aviators. So she had a game earlier tonight. She has a game tomorrow, and I believe she has a game on Sunday. So that's where she's been.
Stand in for her.
Appreciate you, my man. I definitely appreciate you. Last Monday for the radio show, you had to come in, I think the last hour, so we appreciate you for that. Last week we actually didn't earlier this week we didn't do the radio show because of the new walkthrough at the new Las Vegas ballpark right before the Aviator season started. So we're working on some things. You know, try to move some things into place. Try to get some big things happening.
Yeah, fact.
But yeah, we could talk real quick. I want to talk about Lonzo before we get to the NBA playoffs. But Lonzo, you just talked about the triple Bs. What you got to say about his potential lawsuit? I mean, it sucks because it looks bad because it's a black-owned business, and then just to see something shiesty in terms of money go along with it, it just obviously it's not ideal.
Yeah, it's not, man. But at the end of the day, I'm still not mad at LeVar whatsoever. For people are like, no, he monopolizes children. Like, yo, they're getting exploited. And it's like, okay, but would I rather give it to these people to do to him, or have my hands on it still? Which at the end of the day, I'm your dad. You gonna fuck with me, and we gonna continue to do business. But you do see Lonzo. He signed with another agency company independently.
Right.
He was seeking surgery independently before the Lakers actually said, "Whoa there, wait a minute, like we'll sanction that." But you see Lonzo, and he's the oldest. You see Lonzo trying to step out and like, yo, I'm handling my professional career independently, but. It is, man. Hopefully, if bro's guilty, he gets his due. No, he gets his due because that's shame on you, man.
Yeah, man.
Shame on you.
I'm confused about it because on my radio show at Cerritos, that name was almost like banned, bro. I just didn't. A lot of shit that he was doing, I was like.
Foster?
Not LeVar.
Okay.
LeVar.
Yeah.
I was just like, bro, this name is banned. Like, you're not getting TV time. You're not getting radio airway time here. And I just wasn't finna do it. So, I mean, it got to a point to where I was like, you gotta rock with again, the marathon. We gonna continue to kind of go with that trend.
Build it from somewhere.
Exactly. So I rocked with his persistence and his the fact that he saw a vision.
Yeah, niggas was clowning Yeezys.
Exactly. And even when people couldn't see it, he saw what he wanted his vision to be. And again, like I said, I don't necessarily believe that he did it. I don't know whether he did it the right way or the wrong way. Time will tell. But I just look at timing, if anything. And I don't necessarily believe it was exploitation. I'm gonna be honest. I think that's a strong word because I feel like from a parental standpoint, I don't think that's his goal necessarily. I think that it could be ignorance in a way because you know what, I heard somebody, and this is what I like when people kind of can look at something objectively, whether they made the decision or not. But I was watching I was scrolling through Facebook, and of course I follow a bunch of music stuff, so a bunch of music related interviews and stuff is gonna pop up, and I seen Birdman and Juvie sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell they talking about? I'm like, oh shit, so I'm into it. So I see it's Wendy Williams, and I'm like, bro. So ironically enough, they were
Birdman
sitting
been talking
down.
about it a lot.
He has, and this is why I say I love to see it, because especially knowing people that, especially first of all, being a man, having to admit your faults, especially like in a public setting, like is a fucked up thing.
Pride.
So for sure it is. So him not doing that like for years didn't bother me by any means, but of course you have questions because you see things go on in the business side, and especially growing up. My first favorite rapper, I have no problem saying it. My first favorite rapper growing up, being a kid, was Bow Wow, because he was my age. That's the one that I was like, oh, I resonate the most with. He in middle school, so am I. That's what it was. So when I look at something like that, I look to when Bow Wow signed there, and Bow had the Green Light mixtapes, and I'm like, yo, these shits is actually solid, bro. Like, is he gonna ever drop something with y'all? And then he just disappeared. And then I look at somebody like Corey Guns, and then he just disappears. And then I look at somebody like, and I'm like, yo, where are these people fucking going? Like, and I'm like, bro, what's going on? So it is one of those things where naturally you have questions. So to hear Birdman come out, and Birdman and Juvie kind of said it, one of those things, and Wendy asked him the question, like, do you think that it was youth? Like, just plain and simple, you think it was just you guys not knowing how to handle money at that young age, getting that influx of money? And again, like you said, going back to pride, Birdman was obviously very, very select with his word choices, but he said something along the lines of like, you learn. And I think that's kind of the way he said it. Like, yeah, you definitely learn. Like, you got to learn along the way. But like he said, that's why he went back to Juvie and he pieced it up. That's why he went to Wayne and he pieced it up, because he's trying to go back and do it the right way. I think it's the same thing. That's why I said I won't use the word exploit when it comes to LeVar Ball, because I do believe part of what you said is true. He's looking at those other corporations and he's like, Nike's going to fuck you. Adidas going to fuck you. Puma's going to fuck you. I may not have all the answers, but at least we know that we keep it in-house. And it's between us, at least. Yeah. So I don't think it was purposely trying to exploit him, but I do think it might have been a little bit of the cash money situation where they don't know how to handle that business. Yeah,
definitely got to figure that shit out, man. The next level is an adjustment period.
Yeah, man, from every, like you said, from lifestyle to business to social media habits to things. I'm learning social media habits a little bit more now. And I definitely was one of those people that was like, oh, well, you won't silence me on social media. Like, if I feel like I'm going to say something, I'm going to say something. But you just at some point, have to. Yeah, at some point you start to kind of realize your value, and you kind of realize that you have platforms to do that. So, you know what I mean? Like, saying it through social media in the moment can get misconstrued, and that can go a long way the opposite way for you. So I think it's one of those things where when I look at social media now, I try to be like, I try to keep it light. I try to keep it fun on social media, so that way I could be on there, but I can just keep it light at most times. But I mean,
because you don't want to. It shouldn't be pressure around what you putting on.
Yeah, like I don't want to literally have to like feel some type of way about a tweet, and then like I'm about to send it, and I'm literally rereading my tweet like, how is so-and-so going to feel? Like, how's the radio station going to feel? Like, how's the newspaper going to feel? I'm like, dog, it's too much thought. Yeah. Like, this tweet is how I feel. That's why I'm hitting send. So, I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, I mean, let's talk about some basketball players that are actually in the playoffs. Sorry, that was a Laker shot. But let's stay in the Western Conference. Let's talk about another LA team, the Clippers. Are they going to win a game?
Yeah, they get one.
Nah, bro. I think it's one of those where the first game is probably
ugly.
They got
no business getting one.
The first game is probably ugly. Golden State probably whooped their ass. The first one. Every game after that, 6 points or less. 6 points or less. 7 points or less.
This Golden State team is the most fragile squad they've had of the dynasty so far.
Why, when this is supposed to be their best team?
This team doesn't have the same depth at like the bench. Isn't there? It's different though, because somebody in that starting five is damn near always on the floor. 2 damn near, and in the playoff rotation they're playing 9. And they still got Bogut ready to come in. He's seasoned, he's experienced as well. So I'm ready to retract everything I just said.
Yeah, but I would say that's all the reasons why they're not gonna get one.
But yeah, I do worry about them though, but because everybody's not gonna click. Everybody's not clicking every game, and LA, the reason I think they might get one game is because they don't miss a beat
between their first and their second unit and whoever the hell's on the court pretty much. There's not a dip in the way that they play. So if they put their best effort forward, shots are falling one game, they'll definitely be around in the fourth quarter for a couple games.
Right.
But that's only going to get them so far.
First game
which is why
a blowout.
A game tops. You're getting a game tops. But Golden State probably sends them out in 4. Didn't they not lose last year until
Golden State? Who did they
until
play
the conference
last
finals?
year? They lost. I mean, they beat. Was it New Orleans last year? No, because New Orleans beat. They beat New Orleans in the second round because they beat.
Yeah, after New Orleans beat Portland.
So who did they beat in the first round? Denver missed the playoffs and Minnesota got in. Did they play Minnesota?
Yep,
they played
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Sent them boys out of here.
4.
Send them boys out of there.
So yeah, their first loss was against Houston. So fuck, bro. I don't think it's gonna happen again.
Yeah.
I mean, if they play Utah, maybe they, you know what I mean, make it out the first 2 rounds unscathed. But
I think they hold a couple on each series probably, bro. Because I think that this team, they're gonna click. They're gonna be as dangerous as ever, and they still got their core, but they lack something together still. Even though with all their strength and all their firepower,
I think what they lack isn't on the basketball court. And you know what's funny? Because I mean, it's gonna sound crazy because they're going for their 3rd straight title in their 4th and 5 years, but they look like they lack interest.
Yeah,
and
that's why it's the playoffs, man. Let's see.
But this is the thing. I know a lot of people are gonna say that like it's the playoffs is a different thing. It's possible to lose interest if KD is on. You know what I mean? It's possible to lose interest if Klay is on, and you just you're going through the motions and you're just giving Klay the ball and Klay is on fire. What if the next game Klay doesn't have that, and you're just in that mentality of Klay's on fire these last 2 games? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then what if Steph rolls an ankle
exactly.
and you're not in that mode? And then Klay's off that game.
Bro.
Steph rolls an ankle and KD's in foul trouble. Draymond, now we're looking at you.
And people been looking at him like licking their lips
Yeah.
this whole year, man.
Exactly.
And people got familiar.
People are looking at Boogie and licking their lips.
Yeah, their styles rolled over, man. Like the leagues tried to adopt it to where they're comfortable playing, and that team lost. Golden State dropped like 25 games this year.
I was just about to say Milwaukee has the best record in the league.
Yeah, and they topped out at 60. I think but Golden State, for one, didn't reach 60. And it's like, come on now, y'all dropped almost, a majority of the league got y'all.
Yeah, because I think even the Raptors
like, know how to beat y'all.
Yeah, because the Raptors
so
second in the East, and they got 57, I think, or 58.
Yeah.
So there's somewhere like that too. I think the second in the East might actually have more wins than the West.
Yeah.
So I mean, than the Warriors in the West. But come next year, do you think that they'll still be able to say? Does that matter? I mean, if they win a title, but Boogie dips, KD dips, let's say Draymond dips, but the Splash Brothers are still there, are they the same perennial powerhouse with the Splash Brothers and Steve Kerr?
Yeah, they're probably still the best team in the conference.
In the conference still?
I think Steph's still that good, bro.
What are they going to fill it out with? That's important.
Which I would love to see because, bro, Steph is – he's quietly the best point guard of all time. It's a little bit of cap on that statement.
Is it?
But just to put in perspective, I gotta start saying that to people. Be like, yo, no, Steph's the best, bro.
It's a little bit of cap.
Because the thing is, he's damn bro. I want to see them. I think Klay might walk. This offseason is going to be so interesting, bro. Because
Klay is only going to walk if they disrespect him. Klay, I feel like Klay operates off of respect. If the Warriors do not go to him as if he is a free agent that's not on their team and they're pitching him like he's a brand new free agent, if they don't go to him like that, I can see Klay leaving. But if they do and just do their due diligence and they're like, we're coming to you like it's a clean slate, we're trying to pitch this to you, Klay will stay. Now, I don't think it'll take much for Klay to stay. But if you guys are just looking at him like, I mean, you want to win or not, I think Klay will kind of look at you and be like, shit, I don't think you can win without me.
Yeah, certainly.
And yeah,
certainly.
he might have a case.
Certainly.
I don't know, man. I'm not letting that
I
go.
want to see a new Warriors team.
I do too.
I think we'll see one next year that's probably still great.
I mean, it has to be. Somebody's gonna good players are gonna want to go there. I mean, especially when you establish something winning there. People are gonna want to go there. But like I said, we talked a little bit about who they would potentially face in the next round. Speaking of that 4 or 5 matchup, that Houston-Utah matchup, that's 6 or 7 easy. Because I understand James Harden is on another level, and James Harden is just, again, I'm biased. I'm not gonna lie. The way that he ended the season. And I gotta look at the camera when I say this because I was on the radio show being an asshole low key. I'm adamant about saying that I don't think I've ever seen a better offensive player than Kobe that I've ever just laid my eyes on. It's just been like every time he touches the ball, he can score when he wants to.
Yeah.
The way that James Harden ended the year, I'm about ready to say that he might be Kobe level or maybe even better than that because. I'm going to be honest. At some point, I understand people are going to bring up the thing with the playoffs and everything else, but I don't know, man. When you look at some point, it's every night, bro. Like, it's every night.
Bro, 30 for 30, man.
Yeah, bro, it's every night. And not only that, you got somebody like Joe Ingles who frustrated the hell out of Paul George. And anybody who knows me, that's my favorite player in the league. That's just my favorite player to watch. I think that's the smoothest player on this planet. I think his game doesn't have a hole in it. That's just what I see. But to see him frustrate Paul George the way that he did when basketball fans knew who Joe Ingles was, but to see non-traditional basketball fans like, oh, this guy is giving Paul George fits, I could see people getting reintroduced to him this year when James Harden is shooting 9 for 31. And they're like, who is this? Oh, that's the same dude that Paul George had a hard time with, and now Joe Ingles' stock rises. I can see Joe Ingles dipping out of Utah very, very soon. Getting the fuck out of there and making some money somewhere.
Boy. I mean, they got a nice core, though. I'm not going to leave Mitch if I'm on Mitch squad, low-key.
I wouldn't leave Mitch. That's just me personally. But I think Joe's different, bro. Joe's different. I think Joe has
it's bad calling.
Big fans around a big. I think execs
within basketball.
Execs are big fans of Joe, and I think they would pay him top dollar.
The Rockets, they got to do what they got to do, man, because it's ugly. They got to go in the second round.
Maybe.
If they win, that's what I'm saying. They got to put their foot down. Man, it's unfortunate because
you gotta handle Utah in 5.
Last year in the playoffs, CP3 was really balling.
For sure.
Was really balling.
That's one player you don't necessarily want to see. Like, and I said it before I wrote it. I've written it down, and I said that 2 players that I look at, and as great as they are, I was just like, you could see them retiring without a ring. And I mentioned Melo, and I mentioned CP3. Mm-hmm. And I was like, those are 2 players that I love them to death.
Yeah,
but just watching the way that their career goes, I could just look back and hear my dad tell me stories about Karl Malone, about how my dad was never sold on Patrick Ewing, how my dad always looked at Reggie and was like, I mean, shit, he could shoot enough, but he's in Indiana. I just look at Indiana like they'll never get over the hump, and it never happened. I told my dad I could look at somebody like Chris Paul and be like, injuries kept him out of the way. I could look at somebody like Melo and be like, Melo is always going to be that one that's like, you had all the talent in the world, bro. I don't know what the fuck happened. New York wasted your years. Like, I don't really know what else to say. Like, New York wasted you. If you would have dipped out of New York and went and was that 3rd member in the Big 3, maybe Bron doesn't leave, or maybe if he does go back to Cleveland, maybe you go with him. I don't know. It's just a little different.
They figure it out. But that's what makes you appreciate, man, Giannis, man, because this playoffs is going to be a good one. Because it can go a number of ways. Milwaukee could win the championship this year.
I would like to see something like that happen.
They could win the championship this year.
So, with that same thought, the Pacers can too, right? Never mind. I'll ask you later.
I think they pretty certainly lose to Boston.
There's a little bit of cap on that.
I don't know, man. They could get Boston out of there. I'd love it,
bro. If we get Boston out of there, bro, I'm telling you this right now. If we get Boston out of here, honestly, I might fuck around and run a whole show without commercials. Y'all gonna hear
Boston
me.
Fits.
Yes,
Tatum.
We got the team.
If I'm
mentality
in the league, I've been in the league for 6-7 years, bro, and I'm playing the 3. I don't care about bro.
At all.
I don't
At
care
all.
about bro.
At
I'm
all.
like, okay, yeah, he's smooth, but chill, bro. I'm about to sit down, and you're about to pass. And I'm
Wesley
really about to be in
Matthews.
your head, boy.
Wesley Matthews is going to be in
I'm
front of
really
him.
about to come for you.
So Wesley Matthews is going to be in front of him, and I wanted Wesley Matthews to go to Philly originally before they went and got Tobias Harris because he was a 3-and-D player. But for the Pacers to get him, I told somebody a couple months ago. I actually told Alex on the radio show. I told her in January. I was like,
Yeah, he said to me too, man.
yeah, I did tell you.
He can
Whoever
step-
we
he
got
can
in the
step
first
in
round,
for
we going to
Vic,
get one.
And it's respect still.
Whoever we get in the first round, I said it. We gonna take them out, and we got Boston, and
That's kind of
I
that's
said
kind of a good shape.
I
It's a
said
good
that's
shape.
the one.
It's a good shape.
That's the one. And
you call it,
it'll be enough for us because we're like you said, we're probably not gonna win a title, but to take out one of the favorites that you guys thought were gonna win, oh yeah, hell yeah, I'll take that.
Is Philly looking in the mirror right now, sweating?
With
Brooklyn? Embiid is allegedly kind of questionable right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think I'm gonna be honest. With Ben Simmons feeling more, if you watch the games that he's played and the games that Joel Embiid hasn't, he's a lot more active.
Yeah.
He's a lot more comfortable. I don't know if it matters, brother. I understand, like, to a Brooklyn standpoint, they'll be like, oh, okay, JoJo's not playing. Like, they'll have a little bit more fervor, and I'm probably going 5% more fervor.
Yeah.
I don't think it
Ben's one of my favorite
matters.
players. He's one of my favorite players. And one of my favorite players to watch. Like I love LeBron. I loved Blake when he was coming up.
I was definitely a Blake fan for sure.
I'm a Ben fan. I was a Ben Rookie of the Year fan. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I was a D. Mitch fan, man.
I
And
feel like-
it's not that I'm against
Yeah,
Ben, but
yeah.
you redshirted the year, bro. That's what I look at it as. You redshirted the year. So it's like, I understand it's your first year playing, but it's like, I mean, you're not new to this. Like, this isn't your first time into these arenas. Like, that was Don's first time.
The level, the potential for impact on the game that he has, bro, as somebody the ball always in his hand, that damn big and strong and
Quick.
He's got a chip on his and he's got a bro. He don't like niggas, bro.
He don't, bro.
He
He don't like
don't.
nobody touching him. He
He don't. So it's like, come on, man.
Bro, he
Don't
don't.
let me down. I'm hoping they don't let me down.
Bro,
But
you know
that
what?
shit, bro? But Brooklyn has a squad, and they shoot that shit, bro.
They do.
So
Hell yeah, they do.
I just, Philly's
They're young
bench,
and gun.
Philly's bench is not the most convincing, and without Embiid at the rim, it can look funny in the light.
They got to
But
control
they gotta
pace.
hold it down. They gotta hold it down.
They got to control pace. They got to make sure that
Jimmy gonna do what he do.
Jimmy's gonna be Jimmy. Jimmy's
He
gonna
gonna
be
do what he
Jimmy.
do.
He gonna hit big shots when he needs to. He gonna bail them out
Which is what he
late in
do.
shot
That's what he
clocks,
do.
which is what he does. He gonna clamp down
He
on
gonna,
defense.
he gonna
Get some
take it
clutch
personal on
steals.
defense
Hell yeah.
for sure.
I mean,
And they can step Boban in too as well.
that's why I don't feel like it's gonna be that big of a deep. Because I feel like on the offensive end, yes, but like I said, when you look at somebody like Ben Simmons and he don't have to dump the ball off to Joel Embiid, he's gonna work the ball around. He's gonna
When
penetrate
playing
into the
aggressive,
lane.
he's different.
He's a different player.
Yeah.
So I look at that first game against Brooklyn, and I don't think Joel is going to play, but I think it's going to be a triple-double for Ben. I see if it's not a triple-double, he flirts with it. But it's going to be one of those where game one, you're going to be like, whoa, Ben Simmons is, yeah.
I'm gonna love to watch D'Lo in the playoffs though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna enjoy that.
So we went over to 1-8 in the West. We went over to 4-5 in the West. We went over to 3-6 in the East. We went over to 4-5 in the East.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I just want to make sure that we check the hot takes. The Pacers aren't going to win the title this year?
Negative. They will not.
All right, never mind. What else we doing? All right, let's do the all right, fuck it. Let's do the 3-6 and the 2-7 in the West. So the 3-6.
Man, it ain't nothing to get into.
OKC in Portland.
OKC is
Fuck that seeding.
yeah.
That particular series, that shit don't matter. That 6-3 don't matter cuz that OKC's gonna win that series.
Yeah, they are. It's bad.
But
It's bad
why-
for Portland. It's bad.
Why am I nervous? Explain to me why I'm nervous then.
You shouldn't be. The playoff MO for the Blazers is out there, and
I have a
without
legit
Nurk,
question.
without Nurk,
And people are going to think I'm actually kind of crazy. I wouldn't, well,
I love that battle of the zeros though. I love that matchup.
yeah, for sure. But I do have a legit question if you're Sam Presti and you're the OKC front office. If you have another disappointing first round exit,
Ooh-wee. Yeah, we can package Russ.
Are we looking at shipping Russ?
Yeah, we can package Russ.
I'm not gonna lie. I look at a team like New York, and I'm like,
But
yo.
that's the one that bites you in the ass. You
yeah,
send Russ
definitely.
to the wrong team,
Oh,
and he goes and gets a championship.
Multiple.
He goes and gets a championship.
I can see that. And not only averaging a triple double, but I can see Russ getting traded and averaging 30, 15, and 15. And you be like, shit.
This nigga.
Yeah.
Bro,
And you just look at him every game like, damn it, that was the guy that we were supposed to have.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, man. So, I mean, what do you see
OKC
with that
takes
series?
care of that, and they looking in the next round with the 2-7. And my God, Denver is kind of bad. It's bad. I love you. I love the squad. They play great basketball. San Antonio plays great basketball. That's what they do as a franchise.
I'm not betting against Pop.
Bro.
I just don't know if I can.
Bro.
But then this is the thing. I'm gonna be completely honest, because if it does work in the way that my mind is working, I think that intuition is telling me, I'll put it this way, actually basketball is telling me the Nuggets are going to win this series. It's probably going to go 6, maybe still 7.
Yeah,
but
I think this one
the
goes
Nuggets
7.
are going to win. Intuition, my heart, my gut, everything is telling me Spurs. But if it tells me Spurs, this is where I'm going to tell you that things go bad, because that means the Western Conference Finals happens in the second round when Houston plays Golden State.
Bro.
Because if that's 6 and 7,
bro.
if it's OKC at 6 and San Antonio at 7, regardless of who wins that, I don't think you guys get it more than a game, maybe 2, against Golden State or Houston.
OKC in a series against Golden State.
I would love to see it, but OKC would have to switch the way that they play in the regular season. And I don't know if Billy Donovan is that coach. Like, somebody went out and said, Amin Al-Hassan said it. Pop.
Yeah.
Coaches one way in the regular season against teams that he knows he has a chance of seeing in the postseason.
Yeah.
Just so when the postseason rolls around, he has a completely different scheme. He knows that he's played the Phoenix Suns 3 or 4 times or twice or whatever. I think it's 4 times actually throughout the season. But I'm not going to show you guys what I'm going to give you guys when we possibly play you guys in the postseason. I'm not going to give Amari and Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni all these different times to look at these sets. I'm not going to do that for you.
And, yeah, LaMarcus has been playing great. DeMar looks great in San Antonio's system, bro.
Looks focused.
Who in Denver's checking him?
Will Barton?
Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't know.
And I don't think nobody's really checking DeMar. Like, he knows what he's doing in the system. And game to game, I know they got confidence as well. So this is going to be fun to watch.
Gary Harris is a good defender. Gary Harris is a good perimeter defender.
Derek White is a good.
He's a dog,
he's a hooper, bro.
Him and Brian Forbes, like Bryn Forbes, excuse me, they continue to
develop,
strike on point guards. They get to guards in general and develop them.
Yeah.
From Patty Mills, like you just look back to what they have.
Jamal Murray is one of the most underrated players in the league.
Period.
Too. Yeah.
Period. Point blank, one of the most underrated.
Yeah.
But I think this is the postseason where he's supposed to do.
He's their second best player, in my opinion.
Second best?
Yeah.
Who's gonna? I don't think anybody's gonna argue that.
Yeah,
Paul Millsap is on the slide down. Gary Harris is probably a shade under Jamal. So I mean, I'm not necessarily mad at that.
The eyes are on Denver, man. I feel like a win against the Spurs constitutes the season as a really big W. You
if
already
they get that series,
just by showing that you can be one of the top teams in the league.
But I have a question though. Seeding is everything. If that's a 3-6 matchup, maybe. If that's a 4-5 matchup, maybe. As a 2-7,
pressure.
You supposed to handle that. You supposed to take care of that.
They're gonna be tight. They're gonna be real tight if they go down 0-1.
And you at home, and you're supposed to have this mile high.
If they go down 2-1, then they're gonna be tight for sure.
That's gonna be different. That's gonna be a different type of panic from that young team. But you already mentioned it once. You said Milwaukee could win it all. Detroit got any chance to win a game?
I didn't know Blake was bad. No, this is a sweep. It's a sweep.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a ugly sweep too.
It's a sweep.
Yeah, remember when Cleveland swept them and Kyrie finished that last game in Detroit? It was like bye.
Reggie Jackson was trying to talk his shit.
You know what's funny about Reggie Jackson? It's funny how 2K can make you hate a player. For real. Because Reggie was on my team. Devin Harris was on my team in like 2K10, and it pissed me off. But ironically enough, bro, Reggie Jackson was on one of the teams that I was on. The worst teammate in 2K history, brother. Like, just the worst. So when I see Reggie play ball in real life, it's not necessarily like I want to do it. But I watch him play and like I see some dumb shots and I be like, see, that's the shit that he do. And it's constant, bro. It's so constant. So I don't know what it is, man. I look at that series and I don't think it's close.
They stomped through them. Eric Bledsoe's. Come on now, Eric Bledsoe versus Reggie Jackson.
Don't do that. Is there a little?
Eric Bledsoe is everything you want Reggie Jackson to be instead.
I was about to say Reggie Jackson is gonna outscore Eric Bledsoe every game. There's a little bit of cap on that. I'm just playing. Don't feed into that. Don't you dare feed into that bullshit.
But you know who's winning the matchup.
I mean, honestly, bro, I don't think he's gonna outscore him. I think he's gonna frustrate him early. I think he's gonna frustrate him off. I think Reggie has probably one good game, and it's like it's not Reggie's fault, but I think Reggie, he could play, but I think that whole Russell Westbrook situation, him wanting to be a starter somewhere else.
Oh man,
I think he probably could have
ever since then.
I mean, Russell kind of, when people ask him about it now, or when they asked him about it before, Russell was kind of like, who? I don't know who that person. I haven't heard of him since we traded him. Like, I don't know who that is. So, and Russ is hilarious, funny, bro. Russ is the funniest person in the world. And again, we already shouted him out once, but Russ, we paid attention to that 2020 night. We definitely did.
Man, about to be on a mission.
Man, TMC.
So, here's the thing,
we got one more
lastly,
for the last one.
The Raptors could win the championship.
That's the last one. That one in Orlando.
Shout out to Orlando for making the playoffs. I appreciate a team that wants to hoop every night, and then they wanted to hoop in the second half of the season for sure.
That the bottom part of the Eastern Conference was so ugly. It was weird. Like,
yeah, the Hornets just ended up smoking everything off.
Miami was supposed to be there.
The Heat, yeah. It's like, who's y'all best
Detroit
player?
was
It's like,
supposed to be in
it's like, why
Brooklyn
is D-Wade y'all best player? Bro.
And y'all brought him in on a trial basis. Y'all brought him in for this 1 year and he continues to be your best player. I mean, like I said, when you look at the bracket in itself, it kind of looks like it's self-explanatory, and you kind of know what's coming, especially in terms of just the playoff seeding. And like I said, the only one that we kind of look at, and it's just like that those seeds don't matter, and that's the 3-6 in the West with Portland and OKC. Yeah. I just don't think that shit matters, bro. That just it just seemed like for whatever reason they gon'
yeah, I think the East definitely comes down to Milwaukee and
Toronto.
If
Joel Embiid comes back healthy, bro, not gonna lie to you, bro.
No, I take that all the way back.
I got Philly and Toronto. Well, actually, wait.
What's the 4? Oh man,
the 4 is Boston.
Yeah,
it's not gonna work.
Yeah, Milwaukee's
ain't gonna work.
Milwaukee's gonna be.
Milwaukee gotta be there. Actually, no, I'm lying, bro. The Pacers are going. I'm not playing with you.
We'll revisit that.
Do we have?
But it's gonna be fun, man. We got a weekend of first round matchups ahead of us. We'll get
in a couple of hours actually.
Yep.
We early morning potting right now. It's 3:11 on a Saturday morning. We're actually about to wrap it up. Yeah, man. Like I said, I mean, I guess we can get to a couple of little small storylines. Who is best player in the postseason?
Who will be?
Yep.
Man.
I'm going to go out on a limb because I do think that there's a good chance that the Spurs could upset Denver. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Russell Westbrook. I'm going to say Russ.
He's going to be on a mission, bro.
I'm going to say Russ shuts a lot of people up this year.
James Harden, this is his time to stamp.
This is the one.
This is time to stamp. But I mean, my God, I want to say Steph Curry, bro. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Fuck with Steph, man. It's just like you can't do shit about him, bro.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But
unless you step on his foot.
Yeah.
Twisted one of his ankles. That's the only thing you could do. He has bad ankles. And like even then, like you said, it has to be him stepping on it wrong. Or him going up for a shot and landing wrong. Yeah, man. I mean,
best player in the East would be Giannis Antetokounmpo.
You sure?
Joel commands attention, and Kawhi is close to a perfect player.
Kawhi's close to a perfect player. I'm gonna actually I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna kind of cheat. I'm gonna give you a caveat. If Joel Embiid doesn't play a decent portion of the playoffs, and Philly still makes a run, Ben Simmons emerges as arguably one of the top 3. I don't think he's going to jump into the best player in the East, but I do think he catapults into that conversation, the top 3. Yeah, man. I think if Joel Embiid doesn't play a decent amount of the postseason, but Philly is actually still making a run, Ben Simmons is going to catapult himself into that top 3 best players in the East. But other than that, yeah, man, I'm going to go Giannis. I think Giannis and Anthony Davis, bro. I'm against the idea of them making another Space Jam. I'm gonna be honest. Only reason why I'm kind of with it is because I really, 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 really like Ryan Coogler, so I trust him. I trust him to do something crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I'm kind of with it. I don't.
Yeah.
People think I hate LeBron, and that's crazy. But anyway, people think that I'm just like a super LeBron hater, but I don't really give a shit who you cast. Like, don't touch that movie. But if you're gonna do it, I think AD and Giannis are the 2 closest things to a real-life monster. Yeah. Can't do shit about him. Like, Anthony Davis is going to be Anthony Davis. Giannis is going to be Giannis. Mm-hmm. You just got to kind of hope to eliminate all the other shit around him. Right. And just hope that, like, he got to go off, but he has no assists. You know what I mean? He's not turning it up on a defensive end, things like that. Yeah, man.
I have to say, shit, since the East, the East is wide open, bro. Because the Celtics could win the championship this year.
1 through 4 could.
They could.
1 through 5. I'm gonna actually add the Pacers in that. 1 through 5. Stop laughing.
They could. I'm
Ain't
just laughing
no cap on that.
At the purposeful addition each time.
All right, man.
And the Pacers.
All right.
But not, man, because Kyrie, man, what you want, man? Cook.
I think Kyrie is.
What you want to do? Because if they win that series, it'll be because of Kyrie.
If they do anything, it'll be because of Kyrie.
Especially right now, they're playing this whole series, probably no Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to win, it's because you got the best player in the series.
Yeah. Because you have they might have the best 2 players in the series before you get to, like, a Miles Turner from us or, I mean, something like that. Like, I don't think you're getting that. I mean, like I said, man, I'm going to keep hope alive, man. I'm not giving up on that shit. I'm not. Like I said, I watched LeBron torture us for too long.
Game 1 has kind of Indy written over it.
That'd be nice, especially with Marcus Smart just going down with his injury. Another injury update: OG Anunoby emergency appendectomy, so out indefinitely for Toronto. I don't think that matters. I mean, they have some movable pieces.
Man. They got Marcus Gasol, man, which has been underrated.
Once they picked up that, I was like, Toronto's should go to the finals. So once you pick up Marcus Gasol,
bro,
and it's probably a 1-year rental too, because he's probably leaving after this year too. Any last thoughts about postseason basketball? What we got coming up? I know
I wonder what the over/under is for how many games LeBron will be at courtside.
It better be 0. It better be 0, bro.
Nah, bro, he's gonna catch a couple.
Dwayne Wade is not in it, so who are you watching? Yeah. You better not go watch the Clippers. You better not. What are you gonna watch?
He might pull up the Houston Golden State.
For what?
He might
for what?
Just because, bro.
Bro, hell no.
Him and Rich Paul is just gonna pull up, bro. They're just gonna pull up.
There's a little bit of cap on that. There might be a lot of bit of cap on that because he a fucking liar. That shit ain't gonna happen, man. It's been an amazing show.
Magic Johnson said, "Put some respect back on my name, man."
This should have never got taken off of his name.
Yeah, you said, you know what, man? Y'all tripping.
I'm out.
Y'all tripping.
Yo, the way he quit was lit. He was like, so I didn't even tell her yet,
he
but
basically hopped on Twitter.
I'm stepping down. Facts.
He basically hopped on Twitter and was like,
yo, I know you've seen.
All right, y'all.
Yo, I know you've seen those viral videos where people are like at the a fast food restaurant and they hop on a damn intercom and they just like, you know what? Actually, fuck this shit. I quit. That's what it was. That was the perfect. Bro, what movie was that? That was Half Baked, wasn't it? Where he was like, fuck you, she's cool, fuck you, I'm out of here. Like, that was literally what I saw it as. It was like a Luke, I wanted to fire you. Rob Pelinka, fuck out of here. Jeannie, I love you. L.A., peace.
It was high.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, hey, man. I don't know. I look at Magic like a godfather. Like, I look at him as the godfather of L.A. I really look at him as that. I've said that after Summer League, I think, when I met him. I think if you want to do something in L.A. and, I don't know, and Magic gives you that stamp of approval, I don't know. I think that just carries a different type of weight. I think that's like our L.A. stature.
Yeah, that's our Steinbrenner type.
For sure. Steinbrenner. That's what I like. I like that type of comparison to it. Appreciate you again. Appreciate you again, man. Like I said, we got big things coming up. We got big things.
Fact.
Big
That's
things
a fact,
on
nigga.
the move, man. Big things on the move, man.
Hustle man, a shooter. That's a fact. Yo,
Man, I was
rest in
about to say,
peace, Nip, bro.
Rest easy,
Long
Nip.
live the great.
The marathon will continue.
continues.
But it's only right that I let it end on this. But I'm going to actually just let this one rock, man. Until next time, the OD Podcast. I am Terrell Chatterbox Emerson and with D. Harris. Rest easy, Nip.